Hello everyone, it's Mari from Honeybee Stamps. I am going to be using this absolutely amazing spring vine layering frames die set. I want to show you all of the different parts of this die set. It is absolutely just so gorgeous and it creates the most beautiful focal points for your card. And you can use all of the pieces, just a few of the pieces. You can use them in whatever combination you want, but you can see all of the different options that you get with this die set. And it's just so cool. And I hope that you can see here when I die cut these and work with them, just how beautiful they are here on camera so that you have a real appreciation of this set. This again is called the Spring Vine Layering Frame Set, and it's brand new with the spring release from Honeybee Stamps. So what I did was I die cut this from white cardstock for the background for my card today. And I'm just showing you here up close what these pieces look like when they're die cut out. Just so sweet. And like I said, you can use, the smaller pieces alone. You can use just this piece, for example. You can use these in so many different combinations to create some really cool layers and effects on your project. So, and I love the base piece as well. How beautiful is that? So really gorgeous. I think this is just a genius die set. I'm also going to be using the beautiful Daisy Layers Bouquet set. Look at this beautiful stamp. It is large, but there's smaller pieces on it as well. So you can use the different little bits and pieces on your project. And then, of course, there's just a ton of beautiful sentiments. And I love how this has been designed so that there's a combination of really scripty, beautiful script and then the text as well. I'm going to ink up this smaller bouquet of daisies here for my project today. I'm using the Honeybee Stamps Be Creative Clear Embossing ink, and I'm going to stamp this out onto some white cardstock. I have treated the white cardstock with my anti-static powder tool, and I'm going to use a really pretty gold embossing powder here on the daisies to create just this gorgeous bouquet in gold. And so there you can just see me spreading out my embossing powder onto that clear embossing ink. And look how stunning that is. It's beautiful. And now I'm just going to take my heat tool and melt that gold embossing powder. And I am going to have fun watercoloring these beautiful daisies today with my distress ink. This is a really simple process for watercoloring. It's super easy, so that if you struggle with coloring flowers like this, it's actually one of the easiest ways that you can color an open image like this. So there's that beautiful embossing. Now I'm going to take a combination of prize ribbon, salty ocean, villainous potion, and seedless preserves. And I'm going to use these inks here just on my Be Creative silicone mat over to the side. I'm going to stamp out a bunch of the different colors. Some of them will definitely blend together. I love that idea of just kind of blending and creating some original colors by mixing the colors together. But I wanted this color palette to work with. And I love blue and purple together. They're two of my most favorite colors. And now what I'm doing is just taking a wet watercolor brush, and I'm just going in and picking up some of that pigment, and I'm just starting to drop it into the areas on the image. And the neat thing about that heat embossing is that it kind of creates little wells for your pigment and your water. And so you could actually start with a wet on wet if you wanted. You could water down the whole area first. I did not do that this time, but you definitely could do that. I'm using a wet brush to the pigment, to the ink, and then just dropping it in. And then I use a brush with just clear water on it to pull the color out a little bit and get that color moving. And I wanted just a really subtle color here. I didn't want it to be really bold and dark. I tend to color that way. When I color images, I tend to be a little bit light-handed, and I kind of like the soft look. And this beautiful image definitely lends itself to either being soft or bold, whatever you would like, whatever look you'd like to go for. So I'm showing you kind of more of a soft, muted look today, but I know some of the team have been posting projects where they've used bold colors with these daisies as well, and they're just so beautiful too. So a really, really versatile stamp. I love this one so much. I think it's just so easy to create some beautiful projects with this one. So here you can just see I'm using a little bit of that purple in some of the areas. So I'm just getting this really beautiful blend of blues and purples on my daisies. And again, just a really easy technique. And this is watercolor paper that I'm using here. It's actually the Ranger watercolor paper, which I love because it's nice and bright white, but just some really simple coloring. And I left some of the areas a little bit white as well. So just super, super quick to do. Now I've used the coordinating die to cut that out and set that aside. And I'm going to be using the beautiful pinstripes and polka dots paper from Honeybee. This is brand new with the spring release. And I love that the paper pads are 6 by 8.5 so that you can cut these papers in half and have a card front. So for each paper, you can have two full card fronts, which is genius. And look at these colors. They're stunning. So it's a combination of stripes and dots for each one of the different colors, a variety of shades of just these beautiful pastel tones. Really, really lovely. So I'm going to use this one here, which is just a really pretty kind of a pinky purple color, but it's really nice and light. And I'm going to adhere that onto my A2 size card base here. And it's just going to go edge to edge. So there's no margin on the base. The paper was cut to cover my entire A2 size card front. And of course, I'm going to layer over top that beautiful spring vine layering frames base. And I love that there's openings in that so that you can see the pattern paper through. This is just such a stunning die set. If you are kind of like you're prioritizing and making a wish list from the release, I think personally this one is a must-have just because it's so versatile. I love this set so much. So I'm going to add a little bit of my Honeybee liquid adhesive here onto the perimeter of this piece. And that way that'll just allow me to wiggle this a little bit around onto my card base and get this onto my card base nice and straight. Just going to make sure I don't have too much adhesive on the edges there. And I'll just get this placed onto my card base as so. And you can just see how that pattern paper is poking through there a little bit. You can see it. It's so pretty. And now I'm just going to go ahead and add the layers from that spring vine layering frame set. And this is going to be gorgeous because these are all going to just layer beautifully together and provide a really nice backdrop for my lovely little watercolor daisies. So I'm just going to make sure that I get just a little bit of liquid adhesive on there, enough to make sure that this adheres nicely into that place. And you can just see how beautiful that layers over top of that base piece in that way. And once I have that all smoothed out and on there nicely, I'm going to go ahead and add the other little pieces as well. I love that these pieces also have these little embossed areas on them also. So much attention to detail on these with this die set. So at the top and bottom of this piece here, the little embossed area is actually little tiny flowers, which just adds the most gorgeous detail onto the project. Now this next piece, which is the daisies, I'm going to add with some foam adhesive, and that's just going to pop that up, and you can just see how pretty that is. I didn't use any of those smaller pieces from the spring vine layering frames because I wanted to put the daisy as the focal point here. How gorgeous is that? I love that gold embossing powder and just that really pretty subtle color. Now I'm going to use one of the sentiments from the set and from the Daisy Layers Bouquet set. I've die cut that, I've stamped it and die cut it out, and I'll just go ahead and put a little bit of foam adhesive on the back here to pop this up off of the little daisy area. And that's going to finish off my card today. Friends, I have linked up to the products from the brand new spring release in the description box below. Be sure to check out the entire release though, because it is amazing. I will leave a link to the release in the description box as well, so you can check out all of the beautiful bits and pieces of this most gorgeous spring release from Honeybee. Every single release, they knock it out of the park. So I just love how this turned out. Have an amazing day, friends, and I'll be seeing you very soon. Take care. Stay well. Bye-bye.